It's a chilly September night in Fitchburg, a suburb in Madison, Wisconsin. A college student, Matt, was working on his reports. It was nearing 2 a.m. when a strange noise began to fill the air and happened to be coming from the walls. It sounded a bit like bubble wrap being popped and was followed by what felt like the beginnings of an earthquake. In what would not be a surprising move for a tired, overworked college student, Matt shrugged off the strange sounds and shaking and got back to his report. When suddenly, a shrill scream pierced the air, rattling Matt, who quickly got to his feet. Was someone injured in the earthquake? Was anyone else up to help? He ran out the door and into the cold night. Looking each way, he didn't see anything out of the ordinary. No fallen buildings or trees, no people hiding under benches or cars. Everything seemed normal. A car passed him by. Matt followed it with his eyes and froze as its lights illuminated something odd. There, standing in the glow of the headlights, was a human-like creature that stood on 2 legs and appeared to be a dog-human hybrid. The screaming stopped as the creature turned and ran off into the night. Dumbfounded, Matt stood staring off after it. Interestingly enough, that was not the last that Matt heard of the creature. Apparently, he heard the screams later on in the early morning and again a few nights later. But let's visit Bray Road again, where a beast is said to haunt. It was Halloween night in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, 1991. A part-time bus driver was on her way to pick up a friend for a party. The night was dark and foggy, with low visibility. Suddenly, she felt something hit her vehicle, lifting the top wheels up off the ground. Horrified that she might have hit a person, she got out of her car, but saw nothing. Confused, she turned to get back into her vehicle when something came running at her through the fog. A canine-like creature emerged from the darkness, covered in brown fur with long fangs. Terrified, the witness ran to her car, throwing open the door and stomping on the gas. She was not waiting around to get a closer look at the monster, but she realized she wasn't moving forward. Looking back in her rearview mirror, she realized that the creature was holding onto her bumper. She pushed the pedal harder, finally able to pull herself away from the monster. Apparently, she found deep claw marks on the vehicle the next morning. This is actually not where the story ends, though. Later that night, on the way home from the party, the witness unfortunately had to take the same route, Bray Road. As she and her passenger drove through, the witness reported seeing 2 of the Dogman-like creatures, but they didn't stop to look more closely and sped off into the night. Reed City, 2007. It was November, and 3 men were all out hunting. Each man was stationed at their own stand, and the evening was approaching. Suddenly, the sounds of the forest completely stopped. The birds stopped chirping, the insects fell silent. The silence was broken by a few deer who ran by one of the men, clearly startled by something. A horrible smell began to fill the air, described as smelling something like mothballs. Just as the scent floated in on the breeze, the hulking figure came into view. It was described as a bipedal, hairy, dog-like creature with bright yellow eyes. The hunter froze, unable to bring himself to move. Only when the beast moved away did the man began to relax. When he met back up with his friends later on and shared his encounter, they didn't believe him. But the joke would be on them. As the night progressed and the group continued hunting, one of the skeptical hunters began to scream, his friends hearing him through their walkie-talkies. Next, the air filled with shots and more screaming. Luckily, the man escaped the encounter unharmed, reportedly seeing the same dog-human-like creature that the other men had encountered. Incredibly, the group didn't even leave after the second encounter. They wanted to stay and hunt. It wasn't until 2 days later that the group again encountered the creature when it ran into a clearing and growled at them before then running off. Then an hour later, it again targeted one of the men, clawing at his rifle. The man was able to make it out of the situation unharmed, but he was certainly startled by the run-in. When the men finally did return to their cabin after their hunt, they reportedly saw large canine footprints in the snow and deep, deep claw marks in the front door. So what exactly lurks in the woods of the United States? A yet-to-be-identified species? A werewolf? Until we get more concrete evidence, we can enjoy the stories that come from these sightings and wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's still an unknown beast that lurks in our woods. Thank you for listening to tonight's story. Tune back in next week as we dive into the world of cryptids, extraterrestrials, and the great unknown. Good night.